and welcome to Bacon. Also, welcome back to the Cinderella phenomenon, and I have chosen to take Fritz's route. Now, after finishing the first two routes, you automatically open up Fritz and Waltz. And Waltz I'm going to get to, of course. I still don't know if I really want to get into Rumpel's little whatever, just because I really don't like Rumpel. If people really want me to play him, and people feel like that's something that I should do just to have the complete story of everything, fine. But he will come last, if ever. And since I've decided to go with Fritz, and you notice Fritz isn't one of the options, I'm going to go with this little number. I can break the curse on my own. They offered to help. That could have been because they felt pressured to. This curse is my problem and my burden. I will break it on my own. Perhaps doing my duties will be considered a good deed if I do them willingly. So if I sweep without the broom having to drag me around the room, I walk up to the broom. I cannot believe I'm about to do this. The floors aren't that dirty, but I heard a niece once say that there is no such thing as too clean. Do my eyes deceive? Oh, we're back to Delora being a jerk face. That's right. Crap. Nah, I don't like you. I'm back to not liking her. Isn't it the magic? Definitely not. The enchantment I put on the broom hasn't activated yet. Does it mean the princess is actually... If you're going to stand around, could you not do so in the middle of the room? I'm sweeping. There's no magic here. This is the most pathetic sweeping I've ever seen. Delora? She shouldn't even be having to do anything, considering you're the reason that she's here. She hasn't swept anything. She's just moved the dirt around the floor. It's in a perfectly even layer all over. No, she's trying very hard. That should count. I can hear Delora and Anise talking about me in the corner of the room, but I make a point of ignoring their words. I sit the broom back and wait. I do not know what signals the completion of a good deed, but I should know it when I see it. Will there be a flash of light? Will the piece of slipper appear in my hands or on my necklace? Whatever it is, it should have happened by now. You weren't expecting to have completed one of your deeds through sweeping, were you? Doing what's expected of you doesn't make you good. It just makes you normal. You know what's not normal? Also, a thought just occurred to me. You know how Myth is wearing the obvious I'm totally a witch jewelry of the gym? I just realized she's wearing it too, which is another indication that he was being extremely obvious about him being a witch. That's kind of funny. That's still a good thing. Yeah, I love how Delora is like putting her down and making her feel like what she just did was wrong. And Anise is like, Delora, no. No, no, no. She needs to know that what she's doing is still a good thing. You know, basically Anise is having to make up for Delora's shortcomings, and that's not okay. This is going to be harder than I expected. I stare in horror at the floor. Gravel and sand are embedded between the floor. I've seen this before. Okay. We're gonna choose, no, I do not need any help. Since Fritz isn't there. I head toward the dining area to get some water. The people sitting in the marching are laughing and talking with one another. Everyone is included. Everyone has someone to talk to. Is this what friendship is meant to look like? You're making a funny face, Lisette. Are you trying to comprehend the wonders of friendship? Delora, you don't even know how to comprehend the wonders of being a decent person. Shut up. These people are also friendly with one another despite their differences. Doesn't it warm your frozen heart? Can we just take the broom handle of the enchanted broom that has the cute little ribbon and just whack it over her head a couple times? I feel like that would help. Until you consider that they're doing it only because they want something. All of them want to break their curses. They're all here because they hope to find clues. They come to the Martians simply to use other people for their own convenience. Is that goodness? Is that what I am meant to do? There's a difference between using people and them offering to help you, princess. There's a big, important difference. Which you wouldn't know what it is, would ya? I don't understand. I didn't think you would. If you... You know what she's like, you know her shortcomings, and you still behave this way. I will never get over that anytime soon. What you say is true, but it's not the whole truth. Everyone is here to break their curses, sure, but most are here for the camaraderie too. The understanding is why they keep coming back. What do you see, princess? People talking, eating together, laughing. Don't you see the happiness here? Being cursed is pretty terrible. You'd assume the cursed would be constantly sobbing and bemoaning their bad luck, right? But there's none of that here. This is what being surrounded by good, kind people does. Weren't these the same people that were going to assault Lucette before? They're not as good and kind as people are trying to force onto her, and she knows that. We know that. This is... Ignoring that is not okay. It can make a terrible situation bearable. It can make a person feel lighter. But what is goodness then? Why are these people good when I am not? They're not wholly good. Ugh. I cannot help but think about the looks they gave me when I arrived. See? Disdain, contempt, and anger. None of those emotions were good. I'm glad that she at least recognizes that, because I was worried the creators were going to do that thing where it's like, everyone around me is just so good, even after, you know, they acted like they were going to attack me. Being good doesn't require you to be selfless or kind every moment of the day. You can totally attack people and still be good. Sure, these people want to break their curses, but for a time, for a meal, they can put what they want to the side and listen to someone else for a change. That in itself is selfless. I agree with that. I actually like that. That's a good way to put something. That even when you're not the best person, taking the time to show attention to someone else who needs it is a selfless act. Most of the time. Unless it's part of manipulation, but we're not even going to get into all the nuances of that. Delora nudges me with her elbow. And that makes them good people. I look down into my mug. My mind is swirling with considerations. You are not explaining this very well, Delora. Not even a little bit. The instant I look up, Delora has disappeared. She's putting it in too closed of a box. It's both vague and way too specific at the same time. And I feel like she's not teaching Lucette very well on what goodness really is. Ugh. A month has passed and I've yet to complete even one good deed. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I already chose Fritz, and I have just reached the beginning of Chapter 3, Reunion, and I've just saved. I'm going to keep going for a little while longer since it hasn't been that long as of yet. So here we go. But of course, I'm not going to do the entirety of Chapter 3. We're just going to get into it a little bit. I am in town with Waltz because Parfait needed supplies for her potions, and we were the only ones available to get them for her. I do not know why, but I feel on edge. Don't worry, Princess. I won't let anything bad happen to you. Though you know, you wouldn't even have to be here if Lady Parfait hadn't placed so many orders. I do not understand why she has to get everything today. Surely she can just pick up the rest tomorrow. If she was more patient, I wouldn't have needed to go out at all today for such a bothersome chore. Lady Parfait's been receiving a lot of orders lately. She needs to keep up with the demands somehow. Let's make this quick. Of course. My eyes wandered the shop right in front of me. This should be the place. How can I help? Oh, it's you. This is the witch who came into the march inn some time ago with mud on her shoes. I was just about to question that, but considering that the NPCs, a lot of them share the same clothes, I wasn't sure. What can I do for you two? We need all of the items on this list, please. Waltz holds out the list Parfait gave him. The witch surveys the list and gives a thoughtful nod. I'll collect these for you right away. It'll only be a few moments. The witch disappears into her back room. I fold my arms as we wait, my thoughts drifting. We'll be finished before you know it, Princess. Well, look who it is. Hello again, little girl. And it seems like you're here again with your little friend. These are the men that tried to rob me back when I was on the streets. Uh-oh. Waltz quickly steps in front of me as if to shield me from the men. Can he even protect me? She cleans up alright, don't she? Almost didn't recognize her all neat. What do you want? Us? We don't want nothing. But we heard there's someone who wants you. And they're willing to pay more money than we could ever have gotten from you. The man reaches out to grab me, but Walt slaps his hand away. The men's unwashed stench reaches my nose and I try not to gag. No one man with an unwashed butt. Don't touch her. Oi, what's this? The witch reappears at the door and the men back off slightly when she appears. None of your business. I think it is. These people are my customers. Stay out of this, hag. Hag? Oh. I am slightly startled when the witch leans forward and whispers to us. Listen, you both start running, okay? You run as fast as you can, don't stop for anyone. You need to get back to the Martian. But don't you worry about me. I'll distract them for as long as I can, but you need to run. Go. She's alright. I like her. Couldn't she have been given a real face? I like her now. Hey, look alive, boys. This one itches. Ah! I love her. Waltz grabs my hand and pulls me with him as we run, not even turning back to look when we hear the shatter of glass. She is a witch. Why would she help us? Because she is a good witch, princess. I am sure that she is only helping us because she wants to keep us indebted to her. We continue running against the current of people. I liked that lady. Can she be given like a real face and like, you know, pretty clothes or something? Because I like her and I want her to be a real character now. I also appreciate that she chose itching. Something about that is just like kind of more satisfying than physical violence when it comes to getting back at people. So I like her taste. We continue running against a current of people. I manage to keep it with Waltz for a time, but it is not long before my hand slips out of his and I am lost to the crowd, as per normal. He's not very good at keeping up with us. The minute I am separated from Waltz, I stop. Panic begins to well up inside of me. Waltz! I frantically look around at the crowds trying to find him, but I fail. I need to get back to the Martian. Slowly it dawns on me that I am in part of the town that I do not recognize. I do not know my way around this area. I knew leaving the Martian was a bad idea. When I see Parfait again, I will give her a piece of my mind. I found her. I immediately turn on my heels and run as fast as I can. I am so panicked, I cannot see what is in front of me. I do not notice the man in front of me until I crash into him. I prepare to fall, but the man has braced himself just before I crash into him. We both somehow manage to remain upright. Excuse me, Princess? This voice. I look up in shock. Fritzy! Hello! Please don't die this route. Please don't die. I don't want you to die. It'd be bad. It really is you. Princess, how does he remember who I am? There she is. I have no time to think about this now. Who? I grab his arm and pull him with me into a run. You know, he's a knight. He's your personal knight. He could probably defend you. That's literally his job. Why are we running? Somehow he is barely out of breath despite how long we have been running. It sends a sliver of irritation through me. He has training, girl. I think those men want to sell me. What? I shake my head as I try to tug him forward again. However, Fritz does not budge. Princess. This is very irritating. We must keep moving. I see her. Oh no. Princess? Wait, Fritz is a knight. I trust you can manage these two fools. With one hand behind my back. Why was that cute? That was cute. With a nod and a confident smile, he turns to face the oncoming men. He moves to stand in front of me, effectively shielding me with his body. 2-on-1? I don't like your chances, boy. Do you guys have a sword? Because he's got a sword. I like his chances pretty good. We've got no business with you. We just want the girl. One on home. She'll be more trouble than this is worth. You'll have to get through me first. Yeah. Ha! And how do you... Ha! And how are you going to stop us? With this? Oh, hello. I like how she's like, yes, you tell him, Fritz. Look at that face. She's like, that's what you get? Fritz brandishes his sword and smiles at them. Fritz is second only to his father, Sir Alcaster, in his ability with the sword. His skill is obvious just in the way he holds his blade. Waving around a sword isn't going to scare us away this time. The girl is worth enough gold to sort out any scratches we might get. Yeah, scratches. Uh-huh. Any closer and I'll do more than scratch you. Get him. The fight is over as quickly as it starts. I cannot keep up with Fritz's movements at first, but when I am able to focus on him again, the two men are completely immobilized. That's my cinnamon roll! One is sprawled on the ground with Fritz's foot firmly planted on his back. The other is collapsed against the wall of the alleyway with the tip of Fritz's sword pressed against his neck. You wanted to question them? Fritz is completely unscathed. I turned to look at the man against the wall, thinking he might be more capable of speech at this time, considering the other guy's like slammed against the wall. That's my cinnamon roll! Who is going to pay you? Tisk. I'd answer her. I watched his first presses his sword against the man's neck, enough to draw a gasp out of him. It was a witch. A witch? Waltz insisted the witch we met was good, but this is just further proof that witches will always be inherently wicked. It was a witch, I swear. We got a note with your picture. Then it burned to pieces right before our eyes once we'd read it. What did the note say? Just to get you to the witch in one piece. That payment would come when that happened. How much was the payment? Answer me. 1,000 gold pieces. A whole 1,000. 1,000 gold pieces would be enough to feed a family for years. Princess? Not just anyone would have that kind of wealth. They would have to be nobility, royalty even. Are witches disguising themselves as members of the aristocracy now? Princess. Yes? What do you want to do with these two? I look at the men and feel something icy run through my veins. These men were going to abduct me. There's no telling what they would have done to me if they had caught me. Please. Don't beg. What would your son say if he heard you? He has a family? That does not matter. Even if I had mentioned my family, it would not have made a difference. Wait. What did you do to her? Do to who? The woman at the shop. What did you do to her? Nothing that can't be fixed. Did you hurt her? When neither of the men answer me, I frown. I do not know why that witch was trying to save me, but she did try. These men cannot get away with doing whatever they wish. Answer me. What did you do to her? Nothing that won't heal. The anger of that was nothing but a small flame burns full force in my chest. They do not deserve mercy. Okay. I'm a little conflicted. Now, I believe in putting people on trial and everything. It's just one of those things where it's like, I would 100% want to punish them in person, because if they were willing to mug a homeless woman, were willing to try and kidnap her, they were willing to harm a shopkeeper while they were in the middle of trying to kidnap someone in that woman's shop, and they're also indicating they did some pretty heinous stuff to her, something really terrible that I hope is not what happened. There's just no redemption for these two. None. If they were willing to do that to Lucette, who's still technically a teenager at the moment, she's 17, as well as to, again, a shopkeeper, if they're willing to do that in public, no problem, for money, imagine what else they'd be willing to do. There's no saving these two. At all, in my opinion. None. So I would honestly want them to be punished. I would feel like that they needed to be knocked out, arrested, taken to the castle, and put on trial. And there's multiple witnesses now, there's multiple victims now. However, we're in a story about redemption and trying to become a better person, so I think that one's probably the right decision, though I'm mad about it. They deserve to be punished, but these men were nothing but puppets to some other master. They weren't when they tried to mug you. And they didn't have to do things the way that they did, where they harmed and put other people in harm's way. Punishing them is a waste of time. It is an additional burden that I do not care to shoulder. Princess, promise not to come after me ever again. That's not enough. They're gonna hurt other people. If they were willing to do that to you when you were freaking homeless and didn't have a reward on your head, imagine what else they're doing to other people. If they were willing to hurt the shopkeeper as they did, imagine what they are willing to do to other people. Promise not to come after me ever again. Swear it. I swear on my life you'll never see me again. I swear it as well. Let them go. It's stupid. People are not like this. They would come back, as you wish. Fritz and I leave the men behind in the alleyway. I sigh in relief when the scenery around me becomes more familiar. From here I can probably find my way back to the Marchen. Fritz is so unusually quiet that I barely notice him as I become wrapped up in my thoughts. What does a witch want with me? As far as I know, I've never done anything to a witch. Princess? I am startled when Fritz talks. Yes? You let those men go. It was the right decision. Sigh. I wasn't expecting you to. You showed them mercy when not everyone would have. I certainly wouldn't have. Mercy? Is that what it was? I think Fritz just has more faith in my morality. I did not spare those men to save them. I spared them to avoid the consequences. It was difficult. The most meaningful shows of mercy often are, but... Aw, why is he smiling at me like that? I notice Fritz fidgeting. It is a sure sign that he has something else he wants to say. Oh, she knows him well! What is it? Where have you been, Princess? One day you just suddenly disappeared. No one in the palace seems to remember you at all. Why am I the only person who can remember you? Could Fritz be... Are you cursed, Fritz? Fritz looks shocked. Are you talking about the fairy tale curse? Yes. No, of course I'm not. What makes you think that I am? If he is not cursed, how else could he know who I am? Are you a witch or a fairy? Fritz stares at me as if I have grown another head. I don't understand why you're asking me this, Princess. I am definitely human. Could it be that he is somehow unaware of the conditions of his curse? I must speak with Delora and Parfait about this. Princess, what is going on? Princess! I need to get to the march as quickly as possible so I can speak to Parfait and Delora about what Fritz's curse might be. Waltz is probably looking for me as well. Then abruptly, Fritz puts himself in front of me, blocking my path. What are you doing? I could ask you the same thing. Where are you going? I am returning to the Marchen. The Marchen? It's a tavern for the cursed. I've been living there. Princess, are you saying that you've been cursed? Oh, I forgot that I haven't told him yet. Princess, I need answers, please. I suppose you will not let me leave without an explanation. Not after you suddenly disappeared like that. Very well. Delora and Parfait will have to wait. Ooh. Well, that's kind of cute. Fritz is convinced the only place I will be safe is his house, and I am not in the mood to argue with him. I look around the modest living room. I like those I've always liked those bookshelves that are like in the walls like that. I did not realize that you had lodging outside of your room in the palace. I grew up here. I was older than usual when I started training to be a knight, so I spent a lot of time in this house. He walks over and hands me a mug of tea. The comforting scent of it and the realization that he has made it precisely as I prefer it makes something loosen inside of me. He's such a good boy! Why did he keep dying? Fritz sits opposite me, his eyes bright and focused. Start at the beginning. Please, Princess, I need to know in order to put my mind at ease. One night I was in the palace, and then the next morning I was on the street dressed in rags. I tell him about no one remembering who I am, and about my first encounter with the men that Fritz fought in the alleyway. I tell him how I was saved by those at the Marchen. Yet I say nothing about Delora or Parfait, and I deliberately leave the identities of the Marchen boarders anonymous. I am not sure why exactly, but I feel suspicion tugging insistently at me. How is it possible for someone to be unaware of their curse? Rumpel has amnesia and even he knows he is cursed. Fritz said that he is human. I can trust him, right? I close my eyes and will the impending headache away. Maybe Mother was right. Maybe it is impossible to trust anyone, including my knight. And what is your curse? Princess? Can I still trust you, Fritz? Fritz does not even bother trying to mask his shock. There is sadness in his eyes. When have I ever betrayed you, Your Highness? Fritz has been loyal to me ever since he was assigned to me. Every person I've trusted has turned on me apart from Mother. Even my beloved doll betrayed me. Oh, it's really sad that she's suddenly bringing it back up, especially because of all the time she was like, dolls won't ever betray me, and then Delora just shattered that whole thing, that whole perception. The last thing that she trusted, and she destroyed it. How can I be sure that Fritz will not do the same? I swore on my life that I would protect you, Princess. I would never lie to you or do anything that would put you in harm's way. It's pretty obvious in the other two routes that he has a crush on her, so I think he already likes her. Cinderella, I have to complete 3 good deeds to break it. Cinderella, are you sure? That fairy tale is about... It's been reversed in my case. Oh, that makes sense. What will you do now? Return to the Marchen. I must break my curse. I can't allow that. Unless I stay at the Marchen with you. Hum hum hum. What? Why? I've been wondering where you were this whole time, Princess, trying to find you. And now that I found you, I must resume my duties. I need to protect you, and I want to make sure you are safe by staying with you. Oh, he's such a good boy. You are no longer my knight, Fritz. You work for Emily now, don't you? I am not her personal knight. I work in shifts with her other guards, so I'm not expected to stay the whole day. Besides that, I am your knight and I intend to fulfill that role until you no longer need my services. I failed to protect you from being cursed. Let me protect you this time, princess. It helps that, like, when it comes to silver and white hair, for some reason I've always been more attracted to the characters with silver and white hair. Fritz is very capable. No doubt he will be able to protect me better than anyone else at the Marchen. And who knows how many people received the witch's note. The witch wouldn't even need to enter the Marchen herself so long as she has others there to capture me. But didn't Parfait say that they can't have evil intentions? But then again, if that were true, then those guys who were going to assault Lucette until they were stopped by the two knights that were kicked out, Garland and Durian, they probably would have been ejected from the Marchen. So I guess it's not entirely true. I'm noticing a lot of Parfait spells are only half of anything, partly in some cases. No matter where I am not safe, especially when I have no idea who I can trust. Stay here. Stay with me. I'll be able to be with you. I can keep you safe. It won't be for long, just until I can get you back into the palace where you belong. And how will you do that? Nobody apart from the curse, the witches, and the fairies remember that I am the crown princess. I still remember you. You must be cursed as well, Fritz. There's no other explanation. I would think I'd remember if I'd been cursed, princess. I would be inclined to agree. Even Rumpel, who'd forgotten everything else, remembered that he'd been cursed. But then what could Fritz's fairy tale be? Okay. I'm gonna stop things right there. Even though I kind of really don't want to. I want to continue this. I might go ahead and record the next episode to this because I am very much enjoying myself so far. Fritz! Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am Bacon, and this is the Cinderella Phenomenon, the first part of Fritz's route. I am going to go ahead and get into the next recording because I'm just looking forward to Fritz's route so much. So thank you guys again for joining me. If you like the video, feel free to like the video. If you like me, feel free to subscribe, share, comment, like, all that lovely stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!